Hey everybody, I am outstanding in my field. Really I am. And here at Bloom Valley, the field did not change because I spent the whole last episode underground. But not this episode. This episode I'm going to begin with the beehives. I'm going to put them over there because I want them a little bit lower and closer to me because I'm doing so much work with the copper. So I'm just going to set up a little beehive here, kind of make it cute. And then get some bees in it. Aw, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I don't have to look at the smoke all the time either. All right, hopefully that'll work. Hey, bees. Okay, go ahead and breed. And then the little baby bee will hopefully stay in these hives because you can see the other bees are flying off. All right, bye, old bees. I'll come harvest your honey later. So both of my roofs so far are made with these color palettes of copper and moss and green concrete powder. So I'm going to expand a bit. So I've got lime green terracotta, dark green terracotta, the waxed weather copper, and the moss. And then I've been using just regular concrete powder, but I thought today I would test out whether regular concrete also looks good. So I'm going to just kind of plunk it down here and then put it with the rest of my palette. And let's see. Oh, yeah, cool. Okay, so that gives me a couple more blocks to work with. But to make all the concrete, I'm going to have to do a big old pillar. So I'm going to put down some concrete powder in my little pond here. Okay. Yeah. All right, and then it changes, and then I'm just going to do a giant pillar up with the powder, right? And then, of course, when you get to the top of a large pillar, what do? We squat and we look around. Oh, it's looking pretty cool. I can't wait to have a whole bunch more buildings in there. All right, so I'm going to take my water bucket. I'm going to scooch over to the side, and I'm going to pour down the side. I don't want to knock myself off accidentally. And then I'll scoop that up once it gets far enough down. I don't want it to not reach the bottom. Scoop that up, and then I'll pillar down. And oh man, I just thought it would have been so fun if I'd raced the water down, but I definitely didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna gather up all the green bits and we're gonna move on to making a furnace house. So it's gonna be there, and I'm gonna power it with a giant water wheel. So while I set out all this copper to age, I'm gonna tell you my crazy plan. I play on Bedrock, and I play sitting on my couch playing on a console. So I'm definitely not using fancy computer stuff. So for this build, I'm going to try a time lapse, but I'm going to do it with my husband's account. So I'm going to build him a giant platform in the sky, and I'm going to log him in up there. And then I'm going to be playing on our handheld, on my kid's handheld, and I'm going to see if a time lapse looks good or not. But probably the worst part is that we all have to sleep through the night. So it's going to be a little awkward of me trying to manage both accounts at the same time, but I'll make it work. And I was telling my husband he's going to be the ultimate Instagram boyfriend, except for, of course, he's not, because he's going to go off and do his own thing. He's going to let me manage this all by myself. I have got all my materials gathered, and so while I load up in my green roof materials, I'm just going to kind of go over what I'm using for this build. So I've got the smooth stone and the glass, and then I've got chiseled sandstone because that's my most circular kind of object for the water wheel, and then just regular stone wall, stone bricks, and then I'm using oak, spruce, and dark oak. So the dark oak is what I harvested with my mom the other day. Okay, let's get building. too. I think that was pretty successful, and it looks great. I think it looks neat. Oh my gosh. Of course, from this angle, I can see missing parts, like that little platform. Yeah, it needs some stairs. It was just kind of hanging without any support under there. But anyway, there, that's better. That's better. Okay, so this is good. So our next activity is to build the water wheel. So you can see that I've put the center point, and I'm gonna pull that out from the side a bit, because of course the water needs to be hitting the big old paddles. Okay, so the axle is up against the wall, and then the actual structure here, I'm gonna make it out of dirt. So it's a 9x9 circle, and the dirt represents where the water and the paddles will go, and that's gonna help me to actually build out the wheel part. So the wheel is going to be made with trap doors, with oak and spruce trap doors. And so just building out the structure in dirt will allow me to, be able to place it better. Okay, so while I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this axle with the stone wall and the stairs. And then I can go back and finish the lower half of my wheel. Cool. Okay, so the dirt is the shape's pretty much done. I can see that I'm still missing a piece here and there, but I can take care of that. And then I'll start placing the trap doors, again, using the dirt as sort of the structure for easier placement. So trapdoors are cool because if you squat, then you're going to be able to kind of like double stack them. And also squatting when you're on the scaffolding maybe helps you not fall off of it. I guarantee I'm going to fall off this. But I'm going to be putting the spruce around the outer edge, and then I'm going to put oak trapdoors just on the inside. I'm just trying to make it as round as possible, even though it's, Minecraft and blocks. But we'll just go ahead and flip these up, and then we're going to get the oak put in, and then we'll put on the second layer. Okay, so let's take a look. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So by doing the 2 layers of trapdoors, I've kind of got a semblance of thickness while it's still being pretty airy. Now I'm going to put in the axle here. So it's going to be a little bit more solid. I'm going to use oak plank. And then in between the oak plank and the center, I'm using chain. And the reason I'm using chain is I experimented with a couple different things, and the copper was too bright, and things like iron bars were too weird. So the chain at least created kind of bars, and I thought it looked pretty neat. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Okay, let's clear the scaffolding out first. Yeah. All right, so I like how it's kind of open and airy, but still has that real sense of a wheel. Okay, so the next step here is to create the water part. So I looked it up, and this part is called either a mill race, a penstock, or sometimes a flume. So I'm probably just gonna stick with mill race. I think that's kind of neat. So I'm going to make it out of the stone wall, and it's going to go all the way back to this wall back here, all the way across. And that's going to create that channel of water that is catching under the waterfall and then spilling over top of the water wheel and making the water wheel work. So I tested out a couple ideas for the floor of the mill race, whether it was solid block or slab or trap door. And what I found was that the slab worked really nice, both aesthetically as well as functionally. So you can waterlog slab if it's just kind of the single piece, but right here at the end, it actually runs over. And so I'm going to test this out and see where my problems are. And then I can add in my paddles and go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so let's take a step back and get a good look at where we are with the water wheel. Aw, yeah, that looks really cool. Neat. This next part is going to be so much fun. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is remaking the waterfall, but I kind of want to remake the cliff underneath the water, and then I'm going to make a grotto behind the waterfall. I'm so excited because I'm going to make it for my mom. So it's going to be kind of decorated for her and a little bit of a secret, and she'll just have to find it, and it's going to be fun. To start, I'm going to fill in the pond because it'll be a lot easier to not have to just jump in and out of water. And I also want to dig down too deep so that I can put axolotls in there. For my mom's grotto, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. So I'm going to kind of start and just kind of dig a space out here. I know that I want an overhang because I want to be able to put the vines in there so they're growing back behind the water. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I've got a plan for all this stone and to make moss easier. So I'm going to put some moss in with my stone, and then I'm going to bone meal the moss because I was thinking it's going to save my tools if I just have to, break up the moss instead of all this stone, and I get moss. I mean, come on, it's pretty smart, yeah? The main structure of the pond is complete, and I've lined the floor with moss and gravel, sand and clay. I think it's pretty cool, and it should be deep enough for the axolotls. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and secure the pond and work on the cliff face. Here is my cool water pond filling trick for you guys. So it's a little weird. I'm putting wool in here, but I'm putting in the wool at the layer just under where I'm going to put the water. And I'll show you how this works later. Just trust me. For the cliff face, I'm going to do the usual of cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, stairs, slabs, all those good things. This is going to be my overhang so that my mom can have the vines going behind the water, but the water won't wash away the vines. So yeah, it's just going to be stones and stairs. Here we go. I swear it looks neat under there, underneath all that scaffolding. All right, got a lot of scaffolding to move. So I'm decorating the interior of the grotto with a lot of amethyst, and I do have just a little bit of glowstone, so I thought I'd use. Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna hide that a little better. Hold on a second. Up there. Okay, and then we'll kind of put some of the calcite around the edges to maybe kind of let it glow but not show. Ooh, better. Okay, so calcite around the edges and kind of make it look like a little bit of a geode in here. Now I have a little bit of inspiration here. So the idea is that even though it's a natural cave, that the people who found and live here kind of shored it up with their own building materials. So it's got a little bit of human as well as the natural. Yeah, I think that's cool. All right, let's make it a little homey. Got her a pink bed and some light. Definitely some crystals as decoration. She loves rocks and crystals, but she also loves books. So make sure I leave her a book to read. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is great. Okay, we're gonna leave her this giant flower. Where should I put it? Put it here. Let's see. Yep, pretty cool. Done. Now is when we fill our pond up with water. And to do this, we just kind of have to fill around the edges. We don't have to fill every single water source because as you can see, it's kind of starting to fill in and then it's just going to be done. And from here, all you have to do is break the wool underneath and the water flows down and then it's a nice, smooth, even pond, all done. And I swear you can put fishes in here. It's not a problem at all. Okay, so then we're going to put in some kelp and oh my gosh, coral. Oh, that's so exciting. I mean, I was gonna say bone meal, but look, it's coral. Oh my gosh, mom's gonna love this. Okay, calm down. calm down. And then the last step is going to be to turn on the waterfall. So let's place our water bucket up top, and we'll place another one over the water wheel. And then we can step back and check it out. Aw, man, that's so pretty. I'm so pleased. Now that we have our water wheel turned on, I guess it's time to see if the furnace room is working. I have a ton of copper. So in a dripstone caves, you'll find a lot of copper. Check all this copper out. And I've also just kind of been collecting the random bits and pieces from the mob grinder, and as well as some sand, because I'm going to need some glass. And we're going to go up to the top to the entrance of the furnace room. Cool, here it is. All done. Close the door. It's all decorated, and I'm going to show you how it functions. So I've got 2 blast furnaces and 2 furnaces, and the whole thing is steam powered. See, cool. Yeah, cool. And then up here, I have my infinite lava sources so that they can power the furnaces. So all you have to do is scoop up the lava, and then you put it in the furnace and just cook all the stuff. So let's see. We're going to get a little bit of our copper in here. We have to kind of open up a lot of the copper because it's still in the block form, and we definitely don't want to do that. When we've got everything all loaded, we can put the lava in to the side hopper, and it's going to flow through. You can grab the bucket so you can go get more. And I've got everything loaded, and now just basically it's just gonna smelt. Like, all this stuff is just gonna smelt automatically into the lower chests, and later on I can put levers up and I can pull the XP out, and it's just a giant machine. So I'm pretty pleased. I hope you have enjoyed watching me build the water wheel and the grotto on the inside, and walk around this furnace room real quick so you can see how it works. And thanks so much for joining. And if you like what I'm doing, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next episode, which is going to be all about mending, because I'm about to lose my mind not having proper mending books on tools. Bye, everybody.